Is Jordan McIntosh, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator here at Goodwill of North Georgia, and welcome. Welcome to our Career Connector Speaker Series. So whether you're watching this from home, whether you're watching this from the office, in the gym, thank you for taking some time out your day just to invest in your own professional development. If you are unfamiliar with our Career Connector Speaker Series, our goal is a simple one. It's to provide individuals like yourself with practical tools, tips, and insights to give you an edge in your professional journey. And we do have a great speaker with us today who is going to talk about her own journey with Goodwill. And we, on behalf of Goodwill, are really thankful for her participation today. On another note, before I introduce her and go into our program today, I do want to talk a little bit more about Goodwill of North Georgia. If you're unfamiliar with Goodwill of North Georgia, our mission is also a simple one. It's to put people to work. And we do that through your generous donations as well as your purchases. And because of that, we've actually been able to employ over 126,000 individuals over the past 5 years. So thank you for your support in doing that. If you're curious a little bit more about Goodwill of North Georgia, we do have a myriad of training programs ranging from supply chain as well to customer service, technology careers, which we'll talk a little bit more about today. I'm going to drop some more info in the chat so you can learn a little bit more about that. But what I want to say is that we hope that you do have an opportunity to visit one of our career centers to check that out. So without further ado, before I begin, last little bit here, I do have a couple of housekeeping rules to go over for us this morning. The first one is that this session is going to be recorded. So if you're unable to stay for the whole time, you will have a copy of the presentation. Secondly, we do ask that you do try to keep your mics muted as our presenter speaks. And then last but not least, we will have a brief time at the end for some Q&A with our speaker. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our speaker. But before I do have a brief video that I want to share with us all.
The Technology Career Program was created in response to ever-increasing demands for IT professionals. If you were interested in an IT career, this is a great program for you. One major reason is because it has a paid internship component that allows you to get your foot in the door. To be successful in this program, it helps to have a basic working knowledge of computers, as you will have to pass a technology literacy assessment before enrolling. The program curriculum is comprehensive, covering web development, programming languages, and more. The certifications earned will vary depending on industry needs. Goodwill works in close partnership with numerous employers, and the curriculum for each cohort is tailored to meet current industry opportunities. Previous certifications have included coding and programming languages such as HTML, CSS, and Java, Salesforce, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, ServiceNow, cybersecurity, Scrum, and ITIL. Classes take place in the evenings and on Saturdays, so this schedule is perfect if you need to work during the day. Those completing the program are hired as programmers, database administrators, network administrators, information support technicians, and help desk administrators. After gaining experience, our alumni are being promoted to roles in cybersecurity, computer science, health information technology, game design, information support services, network programming, and web design and development. Thank you again for your interest in Goodwill Skills Training Programs. We look forward to helping you take the next step in your journey.
I want to say thank you all for taking some time to watch that video. And it's no secret, we will be talking about our TCP program in partnership with TechBridge here at Goodwill of North Georgia. And beyond that, now I have the privilege of introducing our speaker for today. I'm going to ask a few questions about her to her to get some more insight about her experience. But before I do, I just want to take a moment to introduce Miss Veronica Lightburn. So, Veronica, I know you, but Veronica Lightburn, she is a seasoned professional who has joined Accenture back in 2019 after graduating from our own Goodwill Technology career program. Veronica excels in consulting, training, and corporate citizenship. Known for her strategic prowess, she is now a project manager for Microsoft at Accenture, who leads teams with finesse. Passionate about giving back, she spearheads initiatives for social responsibility. And with her expertise and drive, I like to think she's making waves and inspiring others along the way. Veronica, thank you so much just for being here with us this morning and taking some time out of your day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And, you know, we always like to brag about the incredible work that you do and just from your journey with Goodwill. And I think I know your story. But for those who don't know, we're going to get a little bit into that. So talk to us a little bit about your first encounter with the TCP program, because it's my understanding that technology wasn't always the case for you. It wasn't really the first thing. So can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Sure. I came from a customer service background. So I'd been on the phones for a few years and I realized I really like talking to people. And my partner at the time was like, hey, this program is looking for applicants. So I said, okay, I'll apply. But I was really, really nervous. I'm like, I don't know anything about tech. I was horrified of web dev. I just felt like I needed a new opportunity and a new path. So I applied and I was able to get in. Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's so true, right? When you're stepping into a new field. I often talk to participants who come through the career program or excuse me, our career centers, who don't know what to expect,
Yeah.
who don't know what to expect. So that nervousness is always there, and I think our audience can resonate with that. So thank you for answering that. So the second question I have for you is, in your role now, so talk with me through this. You were previously in customer service.
Yes.
Talk to me about that transition from customer service to technology. And how was that for you in your experience?
So transitioning from customer service to technology was insane. It was insane. And to be very honest and very frank, I suffered from imposter syndrome. I felt like, oh no, I didn't go to college and I didn't graduate college, or I didn't have those certain experiences, traditional experiences that most people have. So it was lots of imposter syndrome until I got to the company and I applied the skills I learned in customer service and I applied what I learned from previous jobs. And it was just, Veronica, you earned your way here. So why not take up that space? Why not do what you're here to do and that's shine? But it was scary. I'm not gonna lie. It was scary.
Absolutely.
It was scary.
And I think a lot of people will have that coming into a new environment, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
So one of the things that is a part of what you're doing now, and maybe for the audience, let me back up. So Veronica, you've gone through ServiceNow, you've gotten your ServiceNow through the ServiceNow aspect of TCP, but there's many different aspects to TCP. So you can think about that ServiceNow aspect, but the IT, and then as well as web development, all throughout that. And we'll share some information here at the end. A part of your journey, right, was that customer service, which being able to talk to individuals, which is so important in today's job market. The other aspect that you've gone through was the technical piece.
Yes.
You talk about coding and how was that for you initially? And what was your experience with learning how to do that? Because it's not easy.
It's not. So coding was honestly, I was most afraid of the coding aspect of the program. I've always been interested in coding and tech, but it just looks daunting. It looks scary. It looks like, how am I going to learn this? Especially in 4 months, like how? The teacher that was provided was amazing. I was able to learn coding. We even had like a build your own website competition. I won third place in that. So I was like, oh yeah, I can do anything. Like I can't be stopped. But it was very much so just dedicating the time, dedicating the effort, putting your best foot forward to say, hey, I'm gonna have to study, I'm gonna have to practice this. But once you study, once you practice, it kind of just fell into place. And it was easy peasy after that.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think I can personally take away from that, but as well as our audience,
Mhm.
having a fear of something, whether it be learning to code, whether
Yes, it was
it be,
horrified.
whether,
Horrified.
yeah, or being able to do that, knowing that that's normal. And what it
Mhm.
sounds like, what I hear from you, and thank you for sharing this, Veronica, is that being able to have individuals who can walk you through a process
Mhm.
makes that all the more easier. And just being able to say that you're not alone
Yeah.
in this process, which is really, really interesting. And which is actually leads me to the next question that I wanted to ask you. So, with that, in the Technology Careers Program,
Mhm.
you do get a mentor that comes alongside of you.
Yes.
For
Yes.
you personally, it doesn't have to be directly for the Technology Careers Program, but if you want to, I think our audience can get some benefit from that.
Yeah.
How important has mentorship been in your professional journey and maybe even your personal journey when it comes to learning how to make that transition from where you were to where you are now?
Mentorship is crucial. I still connect with my Goodwill TCP mentor to this very day. She has guided me in regards to imposter syndrome, uh, recommendations for uh, year end and how I want to present myself, and simply just, life. Right now, I love to brag about it, but I have about 6 mentors. With this journey and transitioning from something I had little to no experience in, finding people and seeing something in them that I aspire, or that inspires me, or that channels me to want to do or be or whatever more. Um, Mentorship is it's so beneficial and so helpful. And if you meet someone and say, man, I love how he speaks, or I love how she presents herself, or I love that they know so much, it never hurts to just ask, can you be my mentor? My friends make fun of me all the time because I meet people, oh my God, I love how you speak. You have any mentors? Are you available to be a mentor? Do you have any mentees? And my friends are like, Veronica, you can't just say that. Why not? Life is short. So I'm gonna just ask. So right now, 6 mentors strong. And I'm sure more will come. I'm sure.
That's awesome. And for those who are watching, I hope you can take something away from that value of mentorship. So
Mhm.
if you are looking to make this transition into the tech field, know that you can't always do it alone. And Veronica has really taken the time to to explain how important, camaraderie,
Mhm.
support,
Yeah.
and the mentorship. I'm excited to get maybe a few more after this. So that is amazing.
Ooh.
Segueing back. So can you talk to us a little bit more about when you first came to or when you first got hired on, you were a database administrator. Can you talk to us about some of the skills that you learned,
Mhm.
as a database administrator to where you are now as a project manager?
Sure. First coming into Accenture as a database admin, I was more so focusing on ServiceNow, pulling reports, building, creating for clients. It was more so, what can I do to help the team? What can I do to assist the team? And assisting the team, fulfilling those duties, transitioned me into becoming a training coordinator for ServiceNow, where I would create the training schedule for United States, assisting with Asia, Canada, UK, making sure that everything training wise was set. My trainers were good, my attendees were good, everything organizationally was was that component. So learning database admin and building the tool, and then implementing and adding training, those skills kind of morphed into me seeing that, realizing I want to do project management, which is planning, organizing, deadlines, sending emails. Hey, I need you to complete this by this date or this time, or are there any blockers? Those skills and those roles kind of just morphed and pivoted me to where I really wanted to be. And it gave me those little nuggets that I needed to build the skills of where I needed to be now as a project manager. I never thought I'd be here ever, but so far, so good. Mute. You're on mute.
I think that a lot of people would have thought you've been there.
No.
And I think that thank you for sharing that. And what I'm
Mhm.
hearing from that is project management,
Mhm.
deadlines,
Yep.
organization, the things that we do every day.
Mhm.
Being able to take that, what you already knew, and
Mhm.
implement that into your role is, one of the things that we are passionate about at Goodwill of North Georgia, making sure that you understand that you think you may not have a skill set, but that same skill set actually could be your strength. And
Yes.
for you to explain that, I think that brings a lot of comfort to just the people in the audience who are looking to make that transition. So thanks for answering that question.
Of
I got
course.
another question for you. So you talk about service now and the things that you're doing now in
Mhm.
your role. Can you talk to the audience a little bit more about how TCP, in particular, the program has helped you? What some of those skills that you're doing with service now?
TCP literally grabbed me at a very interesting place in my life. I went to college, didn't graduate. To be very honest and vocal, I was kicked out of college. I was stressed. I was depressed. I was sad. I didn't graduate with my friends. I just tried to find a job to pay bills. And TCP came in at a time where I needed a change. I needed a pivot. I needed an opportunity. And I got just that. Um, I was able to learn, to grow, to prosper. And it's insane, but I still talk to majority of the Goodwill TCP employees as well as the TCP grads. Like we're still in connect, we still see each other, we still hang out. Um, and to just be very frank, I was making about 40,000 on the phones, and I'm now six figures. So TCP really changed my life. I'll be honest. It was a big
It is
transition.
life-changing. It's
Yeah, it
life-changing. And
is.
and I thank you for sharing that. And I say that because for those who are watching, the TCP program is wonderful.
Mhm,
And for those who may not have the most flexibility in your
mhm.
schedule, this is something that you can do completely online, right, Veronica? You can go online and you still talk to some of the individuals that are in your class since you
I
graduated
do.
back in 2019.
Yes. Yes.
Which is not common for a lot of folks. So I say that to say that if you are interested in the TCP program, know that it's for you. It's for you who may feel like you are underemployed,
Mhm.
or perhaps you don't have a job right now. This is a program that specializes in getting you those skills, just like Veronica has learned, and being able to utilize those on a day-to-day basis. So, anyways, I just wanted to say that. So, the next question I have for you is just about Accenture. A lot of people may not know what Accenture does. So if you can you talk to us a little bit briefly, maybe a couple of sentences on, what Accenture does, and then what drew you in particular to get your position at Accenture?
This is a really funny question. Accenture is a tech consulting agency. Essentially, a company will say, hey, we want to create a process that makes it easier for us to hire people. And Accenture will create a solution. Accenture will create a solution by building a website or by using ServiceNow or by using Microsoft, whatever the solution may be, Accenture would essentially build it or plan it for you or consult with you to build said solution. Um, I've worked with quite a few clients, and our clients range from Disney to Coca-Cola to Microsoft. It just varies based on whatever the company may need. But essentially, you have a problem and we fix it. That's who we are. Yep.
Thank you for sharing that. And you know, for a lot of folks who don't know, the CCP program will work to get you matched,
Mhm.
and employment is true, but understanding the type of work that you're able to do after these programs, it's so
Yeah.
important. I just wanted you to take a second to highlight that. So thank you for
Sure.
doing that.
Of course.
On the same note, you've been there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit more about values and how does working at Accenture align with your values in particular,
Mhm.
um, as well as what are some of the things that you enjoy the most about working there beyond the work aspect? Perhaps it's work-life balance,
Yeah.
perhaps it's the pay, perhaps it's
Yeah.
other things that our job seekers should know about. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Values. Accenture values you as a person, not simply just as an employee. Um, I was respected and seen as Veronica as a whole. I had a lot of deaths in my family in a short amount of time, and that's heartbreaking. Around COVID, I lost my grandmother, I lost my aunt, and it's a company where you can say, "Hey, I'm not here. Like I'm mourning. I need time. I need space. I need." And they will say, "Well, what do you need? How can we help you? What can we provide to assist with this?" And a lot of companies don't do that. So the simple value of just being seen as a person is is amazing and something that I hold near and dear to my heart. It feels great to just be seen as just not an employee, just not a number.
Yep.
My favorite aspects about Accenture would have to be corporate citizenship, giving back, and how they literally have a whole division of their company focusing on giving back. Like I feel like that's so important. It's so crucial to the success of a company, success of employees. And it's really great to be a part of that team. And of course, I have my 9 to 5 and I work, and we all love work. Um, but to be able to say, I want to give back to Goodwill, or I want to give back to my city, and they'll have a whole team assisting you, saying, okay, how can we do that? How can we help? Like that is most likely my favorite part, as well as every first Friday of the month, we have First Fridays where they feed us, and we have an open bar, and we have a DJ, and we play games, and we network. So that's fun too. I love every first Friday of the month because who doesn't want to drink on the company's dime? Who doesn't? Let's be honest. Who does?
Work hard, play hard.
Yes, yes. I love
Thank
it.
you for sharing that. And you heard that, folks. You know, if you are passionate about something, and the lesson to be learned is
Mhm.
do the research.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I can imagine when you were looking at different roles that you were trying to apply for, you didn't just go with one that immediately you did some research. And
hmm,
um, you know, thank you for sharing that story with us about some of those challenges that you had to overcome because
yeah,
the maybe I could be wrong, but some of the myths that a lot of people think is that it'll be easy and smooth sailing.
yeah.
But being able to have those supports in place, which I hear you mention,
Hmm.
to have someone who can come around and have a company that also values your well-being are the
Yes.
things that can set you up for success. And
Mhm.
to that, we just want to say that is amazing. And your perseverance is something to be admired. And yes, Veronica does do amazing when it comes to corporate citizenship and being able to give back to the community. So that's something that you are familiar with, or something that's interesting to you. Please, please, please talk to us after this presentation. We would love to see how we can help give back
Mhm.
as well.
Awesome.
So, goal setting. A lot of the times, I know for me, goal setting can be a challenge.
Yeah,
Um, and it's not always the easiest.
yeah,
For those who are considering the technology field, or perhaps may already be in it,
yeah.
can you give some words of advice to how they can goal set in order to move up in the company that they're looking either to get hired
Hmm.
or perhaps to move up in the company? So,
Yeah.
um, Does that?
Mhm. I hate to sound cheesy, but using the SMART goal, SMART, using that format is always the best way to set goals, set them, create them, and achieve them. Don't limit yourself. Like, don't think, oh, this might not be achievable. It is. It really is. It might not feel like it, but it is. Me looking back and being a customer service agent in 2019 and being a project manager at Microsoft at Accenture now, I never would have thought. I never would have thought. But I set goals to intentionally challenge myself. You can start with little small goals, okay, I can do this. I'm going to complete the training. I'm going to study. I'm going to get the certifications. And then at the big end, I'm going to get the career. So I recommend starting small, using the SMART goal format, and challenging yourself and believing in yourself to fulfill those challenges, to achieve those challenges, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You might cry. It might be long nights of studying. It might be, calls with your friends like, girl, I don't know if I'm going to make it. You will, and you can. So small goals, SMART goals, and just believing in yourself. You got it. You do.
That is such great advice. I think a lot of individuals maybe want to do everything at one time. And I think being able to have those small strategic goals. And for those who don't know about SMART goals, take a quick moment just to Google it when you have an opportunity. But it definitely allows you to really pinpoint where you want to go, whether it's personal or professional.
Yes.
And if you're looking to do what Veronica just said, just know that there are going to be setbacks, which is what I hear. There are setbacks, and it's not easy all the time. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit more insight. That is really, really helpful.
Of course.
Speaking of goals, I have, we all take on big projects. We all do different things. What, can you name maybe one project that was maybe a bit of a challenge, but really has been memorable for you during your time at Accenture?
I don't mean to
Put you on
laugh.
the spot.
This project kicked my butt. I had to train a client based on what we built a tool for them to. We built a tool using ServiceNow for the client. And they said, well, Veronica, we heard you're great at training. We want you to train the clients. Of course, I love training. Yeah. I had to create 6 PowerPoints, 350 slides in 6 days. And I had to present it on my 25th birthday. So instead of me, having the day off and celebrating my birthday, I was presenting 350 slides to the client. I was exhausted. I was exhausted, but the client was so amazing. When they found out it was my birthday, they were like, oh my God, Veronica, happy birthday. That's so great. You did a really great job. And I'm like, you all have any questions? No, we don't have any questions. You did amazing. Go home, celebrate your birthday. And I was like, oh my gosh, great. But it was so much time, so much energy, so much effort put into those slides that I didn't want to make a PowerPoint ever again. I was like, I'm so tired of looking at these slides. I'm so tired. But it really paid off in the end. The client was so happy. My manager was so happy. The project gave me a lot. The client gave me a lot of great feedback at the end, and they helped me get a bonus, which was really great. So it paid off, literally.
It
Literally.
paid off indeed.
Yes, it did.
And that is amazing. Like, be able to pull that off. I think just for the average individual listening right now, we all can just say that is some serious mental strain.
Yeah.
You can only imagine maybe physical strain. So thank you for sharing that. But what I take away from that, honestly, is not every day is going to be easy in the tech field. And as you guys hear, Veronica even having to take time on a special occasion to present. And 6 PowerPoints is, let alone 1 PowerPoint, we may have some circumstances and some constraints around doing all of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's super, super interesting. And really happy to hear that it went well. So
It did. It did. Amen. It did.
it paid
Amen.
off. It paid off. That's amazing. So I love the fact that you mentioned maybe that's not something that you thought you would be doing, right? Coming in and tackling those big projects. I'm curious, and maybe some other individuals are curious here in the chat, Veronica. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the common myths that you had maybe prior to coming to the technology field? Maybe one that you thought it'd be one way, but it's completely a different way?
This is probably the best question I've ever heard ever. The myths of technology. Everyone thinks you have to be technical. Everyone thinks you have to be stuffy.
Right.
Everyone thinks you have to be boring. And I don't know if you all know this, but I am none of those. I am none of those. I did not come into this space as very technical. I'm very much a people person. And I thought, well, maybe I have too much personality, or I don't have enough skills for this, or I don't have enough experience. And those little things that make you different are what make you flourish in this industry. Like, honestly, like that's what sets you apart. Like my first year at Accenture, I met the CEO the first year, and Accenture is a big company. So meeting the North American CEO through Goodwill, it was like, okay, like I can get into some rooms, I can meet some amazing people, I can really get some opportunities based on my own personal skills, not the technical stuff that I know, not that I'm silent or quiet. It's just me being me. So you being yourself is really what's going to make you stand out from so many other candidates. Just being you.
Wow. That there's so many nuggets to take away from that.
I try.
Thank you for changing and telling us your perspective.
Yeah.
On how things can change. For a lot of folks, I think they might think the same thing. They might think you
Yeah.
have to know it all. You have to have be equipped with technical jargon, or
No,
you have to know precise things. But
no.
what I hear you highlighting, and this is a lesson that I'm taking away, is trust. Being able to talk and to communicate with your clients that you do every day. It builds trust. It's funny, and this is a little bit off topic, but I just think about maybe someone who's coming into your house who wants to clean your floors or wants to do some household work. If you do not have the skills necessary to build that trust, it may be a little bit more harder to give them your business. And I think for something that you just said, it's for individuals who are in technology, especially with consulting,
Yeah.
talking and being able to do that every day is really crucial, and it's an amazing skill to have. So thank you so much for just highlighting that. That's amazing.
Sure. Yeah.
So we do have a question from the chat. So Judith asks, what does your path look like now? And I think maybe Judith, so Veronica's project manager at Accenture, but perhaps Veronica, maybe you could talk a little bit more about some of the mundane, or maybe what your day-to-day could look like. And I say that knowing that not every day is the same at all. Would you mind talking to us a little bit more about that?
So depending on if anything's on fire, and on fire, meaning if the client is upset or we're in hot water, anything like that. If there's anything's on fire, then all hands are on deck. We're trying to appease the client, make sure everyone understands that we're in good shape. And if we're not in good shape, I implement a plan to streamline our progress into being in good shape, or being good, or being safe. Typically, day to day, I'm pulling reports, I'm reporting on numbers, I'm checking in with managers to make sure everything is in tip-top shape regarding, for me, certification and training. I having lots of meetings, having lots of check-ins. I'm a check-in girl. Hey, it's getting near the end of the month. Do you need anything, or any blockers, or any issues? Reports, numbers, stats, blockers, checking in with multiple teams. So for me, organization and planning is crucial because I can have one team being great and one team not being great. And that, I need all of my paths to be cleared. I need everyone to be on the same page because my manager's going to come to me and say, "Hey, Veronica, what's going on? What's wrong? What's right?" And I like to report what's right. I like to say everything's good. We're all good. We're all set for our set deadlines. But it's just planning, organization, and numbers. Numbers.
Numbers, yeah, and I know you, and I know in our communication, there's a lot of planning. There is a
So
lot of
much
back and
planning.
forth, and to your point, being able to manage yourself, but also manage others is what
Mhm.
I hear you saying. It's such a critical component,
Yeah.
because if someone else is, maybe having a challenge, that can
Mhm.
affect what you do.
Yeah. It does.
And,
It does.
and we don't like, we don't like that. Uh,
No.
so thank you for sharing that. And
Mhm.
hopefully, Judith, that gives you a little bit more insight onto what a day-to-day could look like in
Mhm.
Veronica's role. All right, so we have
Oh,
another question, and we're just going to go straight into questions here.
yeah.
That's okay with you, Veronica. So Shaya, she says, let's see. Okay, she works at Flexential. Did I say that? Hopefully I said that correctly. And she's looking to move in something more in the tech field. Can you talk a little bit more about Flexential, Shaya?
Mhm.
And while we wait for her to respond, Veronica, for those like Shaya who are interested in getting in front of a hiring manager
Yeah.
or getting in front of a recruiter,
Mhm.
we know the job market could be a little bit more difficult.
It can.
What are the things that, or maybe a good rule of thumb or a tip that you can provide to individuals who are currently looking to maybe just get that one-off conversation to put their name out there? And I know you talk about you really made an excellent point before
Mhm.
talking about being able to communicate and being
Yeah.
able to talk. Is there any other things that you may be able to say to someone who may be looking to do that?
Sure. So the best,
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. The best, I would recommend like the best way about going into an interview is you're gonna be nervous, but
yep,
I
yep,
want you to be confident. And I say that meaning go into that interview as if they need you. Every skill that you have, it's what's going to plug the hole that they're looking for. And then I'm not saying that in a cocky way, I'm saying that in a very confident way. It's very much so, hi, I bring this to the table and I have experience in this and I can bring this to the team and just showcasing that you are what they need based on the skills you have. And also showing them, hey, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing
mm,
to upskill. I'm willing to put in the work because it's hard to deny a candidate who has their own skills willing to bring those skills to this company as well as well whatever we might need him or her to do, they'll do that too. So going in confident, going in with what you have and going in saying I can also do more. Every interview I go into, and I don't go into any now, but when I did, it was I have it all and I'm willing to get more, and people, they see that and they feel that. So yeah, that's it. Confidence.
I hope that answers your question, because
Yeah.
that's, I hope you got some tidbits from that. Oh, and you shared data center alphabet. Okay. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. I think Judith, you asked a great
Thank
question.
you so much. I'm sorry to
Sure.
interrupt, but thank you so much. I'm sorry, but I was trying to answer earlier. I'm actually at work right now. But I just want to say thank you for that. Yeah, but I work at a data center.
Mm-hmm.
So to me is I think it's like the entry level of IT.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get something that's a little bit more hands-on and really more into the IT field.
Yeah. So
Do
I would,
you do
what were you
you
gonna say?
feel like I should get more certifications? Or I've been here for a year, or do you think that my job experience is enough to maybe go into the field itself.
You're trying to go directly into IT, information technology?
Yes.
Okay. I would start by navigating exactly what career you want. There's so many careers in IT. If you want to be an IT professional, if you want to be a developer, if you want to be a tester, really pinpointing, okay, what do I want to do?
So
And
I
what,
was looking into doing a tester, and I wasn't sure
yeah.
about the field in testing. How is it
Mm.
like? Is it a broad field for it, or is it something like it's getting canceled out by AI?
No. We all need testers. Most
Okay.
projects need testers because we have
Okay.
typically there's a team of builders and then there's a team dedicated to strictly testing. I tested before too. Testing was fun. I mean, it was actually really fun, but it was constant because they were always
Right.
doing stuff and things were always breaking. So
Okay.
I would look into testing. I would look at what software, well, like what kind of tester you want to be. Do you want to be a ServiceNow tester? Do you want to be a
Okay.
web design tester? Do you want to be a Salesforce tester? Looking at the
Okay.
different softwares and saying, I want to be a tester for this. And then doing the research, looking for certifications, looking for free certifications or programs that will pay for it. Wink, wink.
Okay. Okay.
Goodwill, wink, wink.
Okay.
So you can get that and it's free and covered. But testing
Okay.
is always needed, always, because things
Thank
always,
you.
of course.
Thank you. This was very informative, and this really just like helped me. Yeah, so you just helped me a lot by figuring out this is I was on the right route. I was there. I just didn't want to pay all that money for those classes if they're trying to get you to pay for those boot camp classes. But thank you
Get
for
a
letting me know that
Goodwill, get a
Goodwill,
Goodwill.
I didn't know Goodwill even paid for it. So that's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Of course.
Thank you so much for your question. Awesome. So everyone out there who is listening, just know that what Veronica is talking about is understanding that there are multiple positions and narrowing down your niche. The tech field is vast, as we all know, and we know that despite the landscape, there's still a need, right? There's still a need. Even when you hear about layoffs and things going on, the tech field still has an advantage. There will always be a need, as Veronica has communicated simply. So thank you again, Shia, for that question. So I got another question here. This one comes from Judith. And I think she may be, okay, she's asking about, because we're talking about project management. Are you working on your PMP certification, or do you have it? Do you think it is required now?
I'm currently working on my PMP. My mentor, she is she's on like the Atlanta board for the PMP. So she's really hard on me about it right now. Is it required for my current role at Accenture? No, we do have internal certifications. So Accenture's like, if you had it, your PMP, of course, Accenture would like recognize it, but I have an Accenture ServiceNow PMP certification, but I'm currently working on my PMP. It is no joke, but I'm working. I'm working. That's an awesome question. You gonna make me study tonight. Judith, I was trying to catch a break, but here you go. Here you go.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you took the time to answer that, because I get that a lot. I did just the fundamentals of project management, and that's been something that, so my story is different, and it's too long to go into it, but I've been in IT. So when I tried the project, because I'm more of a people person and more project centered and customer service and support and all of that, but I work more on the sysadmin side. And so the 24/7 and the premier support and all that kind of like, for so many years, it kind of drained me a little bit. So I wanted to take a different route. But so you validated that it's still something that should be considered, but I'm glad to know that Accenture did that for you and giving you time to study and get it. So that's awesome.
Thank you. They did. They was on me now. They was on.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So we have about 5 minutes left. So I encourage everyone who has any last minute questions for Veronica, please to submit them now. Hopefully you have found this very fruitful. And Veronica, thank you again just for taking some time to share your insight and your expertise with us. Okay, so we've got a couple coming in. I'll go start with Corey. So Corey said, so I've just completed the Goodwill Clean Tech program, and I was wondering if Accenture had anything available for that area. Corey, let me share my email with you. I will be able to connect you with someone who is our employment specialist. Let's talk a little bit more afterwards about that. But congratulations on getting through the CTA program. We appreciate that.
Go, Corey.
Okay, Clavis says, will the TCP program help people break into things like cybersecurity? I think I know the answer to that.
Yeah, very much so. The programs range, of course, based on, I think, like the client, right, Jordan? Or like just the type of program per quarter, what's offered. But I know for a fact that there is a cybersecurity cohort. So eyes peeled.
And to Veronica's point, it does based on the client. And depending on your flexibility and what time you have, they will match you to the best program. So it could be cybersecurity, but it may not. So Clavis, when we share the information afterwards, be sure to put in the application for the spring cohort. And then from there, they'll be able to talk to you a little bit more about whether or not that's going to be the right fit for you. Let's see.
Also, everyone, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. It's my first and last name.
Be sure to connect.
Please connect.
You said you were going to send me your email for the career, for the employer specialist on that, you said?
Is this Corey?
Yeah, this is Corey.
Yes. Yeah, Corey. Yeah, we can get you some information on how to get you connected. If you just graduated, did you just graduate from the first cohort?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I graduated from the first cohort. They didn't really have any job placements available after I graduated. So I figured that, since she's already a part of Accenture, she might have some insight on if they're even looking for EV technicians, you know what I mean? Or electric vehicle technicians. And if they were, would you happen to have like an email or a number to somebody I could contact to let them know or share my skills that I've just gained from this program?
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. Thank you for sharing that. Like I said, let's connect afterwards because I think what we can do for you, if you complete at the Decatur location, we already have a working with quite a few different companies in the space for the Clean Tech Initiative and additionally for the supply part, which I believe you're handling. So I'll put my email here in the chat and then you can send me your question just so I can remember. But like I said, we aim to be as helpful as possible to connecting you. So thank you for your question.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'm getting into like the tech field. Like, I never thought that I could do tech because I went to college for something that was different. Because I was really scared to do tech. And I just wanted to know if Veronica, can you be like a mentor of mine? Since you said don't never be afraid to ask for a mentor, I was wondering if you can be mine.
I don't mind at all, of course. I'm gonna be very honest with you. A lot of people come into tech with degrees in biochemical engineering, communications, law. Everybody's degree is different. And then you have people like me who don't have a degree at all. But yes, I'd be more than happy to help. Oh my God, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Awesome. And it's good to connect, and even if, depending on different times that you're available, it's good to have different conversations with individuals. So I can't remember your name. I'm sorry who asked the question, but thank you for your question. And for those out there who are looking to get plugged in to mentorships, do what Veronica said, network. talk to individuals who you think who have already been there, kind of like Veronica, who can provide a little bit more insight on what it looks like every day. And certainly Veronica has done just that today. So thank you so much, Veronica, for taking the time this morning just to speak and give us a lot more insight on what it looks like to be in the tech field. I hope everyone has found that as fruitful as I did. As promised, I did say that I would provide some more information on the TCP program. So if you're interested in learning more about the TCP program, I encourage you please to email your name at tcp@techbridge.org. From there, you will receive some follow-up email about the application where you can go in and talk about scheduling as well as get more information on some of the curriculum, such as ServiceNow, which Veronica has been through, from all the way to Azure, as well as IT and project management. So Veronica, thank you so much. I can't say it enough. Everyone out there who's watching, I just want to say thank you for joining us today for another segment of our Career Connector series. If you're interested in learning more about Goodwill of North Georgia, I encourage you, please, to visit goodwillng.org to figure out the closest career center near you. We have a dedicated staff ready and willing to meet you wherever you are in your journey, whether that's a job, a better job, or a career. So with that being said, I like that. So with that being said, thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day. But until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great week, everyone.